Welcome to Discover a New Future, a show geared at empowering women to be the best versions of themselves. My name is Faith Saunders and I'm your host. Well, we all, at least I shouldn't make an assumption, but I know when I am feeling happy, sometimes sad, music soothes my spirit. And so today we're going to be speaking with Kim Yarson. I pronounce your last name correct? Oh, yes. Everybody knows that's my trademark. That's what people's last name. But
it's perfect.
Okay, thanks, Kim. But Kimberly is a musician, as I mentioned, and I listened to her music. I told her there's one song that is just continuously playing in my head after I listened to some of the tracks she sent to me. But she's going to be talking today about her personal experience and journey as it pertains to music and how it has been instrumental in helping her in her life during the happy times as well as when things aren't going that great.
Yes.
So I want to share a little bit about Kim. Kim is a songwriter veteran. She released her fourth album, Rise, in May of this year. After about with depression and anxiety in 2016, she co-wrote the song Second Wind, which described her struggles. After the song was published, she decided to make a music video dedicated to destigmatizing mental illness and spread the message of hope. So thanks again for coming.
It's my pleasure to be here to help in any way I can.
Yes. So I'm so excited to hear your story. How did you get into music?
Well, I took a trip in 1994 to Nashville. And at that time, I was writing poetry for myself and for my healing. And Nashville just turned me into a songwriter overnight. Literally, I was so excited by what I saw in Nashville and their songwriting and their writing skills that I wanted to do that. So my journey has started there. And from there, I built it up through many, many ways. NSAI, which is a Songwriters Association in Nashville, gets people together, networking, learning the craft of songwriting. So I did that for years, doing workshops in Nashville. Did a cruise once with some hit songwriters. Several workshops. One in Connecticut with my favorite Beth Nielsen Chapman. Love her.
Wow.
That's kind of the journey, and it's been a long one because I have other things going on in life. So you pretty much slip it in the middle somewhere. And then I took guitar lessons, piano lessons, and I started co-writing with my good friends Barbara Harley and Al Lind. And they kind of also taught me a lot. I'm just like a kind of a self-taught musician now. I come full circle now. I'm going to Berklee College of Music online, which is in Boston, one of the top colleges in the United States for music.
Wow.
And I got accepted. I was very impressed by that because I do not know how to read a note of music, but I have it in my heart and soul and such a drive and a desire that I guess that's all you need in life.
Yeah, that's what
Maybe not a degree, but I'm learning a lot, and I really enjoy Berklee College of Music. The environment and the online experience is better than anything I've ever done in my life. I could just give up my whole life and just go to school every day at Berklee, even though I'm pulling my hair out every day because I'm learning mixing right now. And for any of you audio engineers, that's like, it's hard.
Cool.
But I love it. And I'm writing for film and TV, which is not something I ever thought I would do.
Wow.
But pitching to artists is not so easy either. When you're not in the major music city, it's harder to get these contacts. So I started learning more about film and TV. And as a matter of fact, about 2-3 years ago, I vowed I would have placements in film and TV because the person who was interviewing me asked, "What's your next goal?" And it was to have my songs in film and TV, and now I do. So so that was kind of an interesting journey. So now I pretty much dedicate all day and night to pitching to film and TV, writing songs for film and TV.
Oh, wow. This is just powerful. One experience changed your
Just
entire
led to the
life.
next.
Wow.
And somewhere in between, I had children, which is the most amazing experience, right? I'm very blessed to have that. But that does stunt your growth as an artist a little bit. So I slowed down the whole Nashville thing. I stopped going to Nashville. I stopped writing as much. I still play with my guitar. But it was more like a living room experience singing for my children. So somewhere around 2000 and I want to say 8, I experienced one of my first or second depressions. And what got me out of that was actually pretty much saying you need to do music and you need to become your own artist. Because I thought maybe I could become a hit songwriter and write for other artists. But something was telling me, Kim, you need to go and write your own songs. Not only write your own songs, but sing them. And get out there because the hints kept coming in. You need to sing your own songs. So I was like, I don't really want to be the artist, but here I am 4 CDs later, and I guess it's working out. But
Exactly, you know.
and now I pretty much, along with parenting, write music, perform in 2 bands, and juggle the music business and pitching to film and TV while I parent my children.
Wow.
And I now play with my son Joey in a band because he plays guitar, lead guitar like no other.
Wow.
So that's a really great experience to be able to play with my child and know where he is on a Saturday night.
Exactly. And that's, whoa, that's one gene passed over for sure. From mom to child.
He's like Kim Yarson 4.0 though, because he's so much better than me as a player and
a musician.
Wow. There are no words for the gene pool and how it can improve upon generations. So I'm quite pleased to see his love for music and his perfect pitch ear, and just how much he's grown in a year of playing lead guitar.
Wow. And you know what's so interesting, that, you know, as you said, it just seemed to be a natural for him also,
Unbelievably
right?
natural, yeah.
Wow.
To the point where I'm like, I wish I were like that. Why aren't I like that? But,
because you have your own gift that you
correct.
have to
Mine is
fostering.
songwriting.
Right.
You know, the writing of a song is like the essence of my being. It's everything to me. If I don't write a song, it's like not taking my vitamins. I feel very sad.
So let's talk about that. Your writing, you said that's a key part of you. So how does the lyrics come? Do they come in one chunk, or do they come like, you know, something remind you of something and then they just come little bits in bits and pieces? How does your writing go?
Well, there is really no one way. I wish I could say there was one way. I can just tell you a few incidences where, one, I was jogging in the woods without my cell phone. And actually, maybe I had my cell phone. I don't remember at the time. I usually don't like to bring my cell phone with me while I jog in nature because it's counterproductive to my getting away from all that. But I was out there jogging, and the song kept running through my head, the lyrics as well as a melody. And I literally had to jog home and continuously go over and over in my head until I got home and wrote the idea down. So another time I was woken up from a nap for the song I Am Soul, which is a gift from the heavens. To have to get up out of my nap. I was actually sleep deprived back then. So I really needed to nap, but something told me get up and write the song. And it has been the most requested fan favorite song of all of the songs. I Am Soul.
The ocean holds secrets in the sound of the waves. The wind blows me kisses and caresses my face. A rainbow comes out and reflects spirit's grace. When I open my heart, then I know I am more than my tears, more than my pain, more than my fears, more than my shame. I am more than this body that keeps growing old. I am pure, I am hope, I am love, I am so...
Written about depression, someone I know who suffers greatly from depression and anxiety. So I had to kind of get up for that one. So that was another way. And sometimes my co-writers, on a more current situation, will send me a melody, a groove, a chord scheme, and some music behind it, and I'll make lyrics work.
Wow.
They
That's
call that
talent.
writing top line,
Oh, okay.
where you can take the music from someone and write a top line for it. That's just as
That's talent.
fits perfect.
That's talent.
So that's something I've never done before until more recent years, where I'm more experienced. I would write the lyrics and then mold music around the lyric and
No, you
make it
can-
work. Yeah. So
But you know what's so interesting when you're talking, what I'm hearing is that there's so much, I keep on saying there's so much within all of us that we haven't even tapped into. We haven't tapped in just a little teeny bit. But
Exactly.
because we have all this thing just sitting there waiting to come out. But if we don't give that the opportunity to do that. And it's all about choice, because you went to Nashville and your life changed,
It
and
changed.
you follow through with all of that. And one of the other things that you said that really struck me was that when you were saying, no, I just want to be I don't want to write music, I don't want to be the writer, you know, and the depression. Sometimes I feel when we're running away from what we're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
then we get that's somewhere sometimes some of
that
the
blocks you.
exactly.
I agree.
Wow.
I'm a firm believer in the cure to all mental illness is to do what you're supposed to do while you're here on this earth.
Just follow through, you know.
Follow through and shine your light because this is it. This is your chance.
Exactly. I thought it makes a difference in so many people's lives, you know.
Exactly. And people feel the essence of you when you're doing what you're supposed to do. They feel that. And it
totally
trickles in through every part of your life, even if it's at my day job, you know, where I work to get paid, actually. No, I'm sorry. It's not true. I do get paid for music, but not as much. That's going to change. That's going to change. So it trickles through that happiness for doing what I love is there all the time. So I can, it comes out in other areas of my life, my joy.
Exactly. Because
People
when you
feel
come
that.
Exactly.
They feel my joy because I have so much to look forward to.
I can't wait to go home and do my mixing.
In my brain, I'm probably still doing it while I'm working. It's just, it's
That's
there.
awesome.
I cannot deny it.
That is awesome. So let's go back to summer 2016.
Do we have to? No, I'm just kidding.
To help our audience.
I know.
Must we? Tell me what was happening in your life in summer 2016.
Well, number one, I think the transition of going from someone who works to someone who is a stay-at-home mom for the summer is a transition, and it's difficult for anyone. I have all this free time to write, to do everything I want to do, and then I have to stop in my tracks and take care of children all summer, which isn't a horrible thing, but it is a huge transition for the brain, the psychological part of yourself that says everything's got to change. So I think that transition does add to it. I'm not saying it caused it. I kind of think the depression comes from biological as well. It runs deep on both sides of my family.
Okay.
Now, my dad died when I was 4, but I really didn't know that much about his side of the family because we didn't really, know them that well. So I'm beginning to find friends and family on Facebook now, and I'm learning that it runs on both sides of the family.
Oh, wow.
Possibly some undiagnosed mental illness because there was alcoholism. So
self-medicating.
it's there. It's there, and you can't deny that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, probably stress, because being a songwriter and a dental hygienist and a mother of 2 in 2 bands while going to college and trying to run a household
Ooh, I'm tired just even hearing it.
is very stressful.
Wow.
Now, a musician's job is to stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning and dance and sing and act like everything's awesome, whether you want to be awesome or not, whether you're feeling great or not.
Right.
You're on, you have to be entertaining. That's pretty stressful.
Yeah, that is.
And then you got to wake up and go to church at 10:30 in the morning, which I have fallen asleep many a time. Eyes closed during, But anywho, I'm doing the best I can, and I think what happened was it's an accumulation of stress over time can cause it. Maybe it's cyclical.
Right.
Who knows?
So how did it manifest itself in your life?
Depression. Just draining depression. No motivation. Dread. Something that is not recognizable to anyone who knows me. That's the scary part when people are looking at you and like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? I'm kind of like, no, I'm still here. Please don't make me feel any worse than I already do. I know you need me to be Kim, happy Kim all the time, up Kim, but right now I'm not that. So that's the hard part, is the mirror back in your face.
Exactly.
That was hard. But I managed to play through some of my shows with depression and still somehow make it,
Wow.
Just work through it.
Well, and I think
Kept walking and jogging and exercising.
Exactly, and I think that's part of the challenge. Sometimes when you're in that space, people can't understand. They just think to snap out of it.
Some understand it well because they've been through it, and others don't understand it.
Right.
They accept that you're going through it, but they don't really. They haven't had the experience of it. So.
And
they try to give you advice, but just doesn't work.
Until you've been there, right?
Exactly.
So I call that the valley experience. So how did you get out of your valley experience?
I dug, I climbed, I jogged, I went out. I mean, I remember driving my kids in the summer on my bike to go to the chocolate factory just to get out of the house. But at the same time on the phone with my therapist because I was waiting for the call. So I would drive and do bike rides with my kids and do, go here, there, and everywhere to try to just get out of my house, get out of my own way, get up, and just keep going.
Wow.
So it was really just not fun, but it was what I did just to keep going.
So what I
and I did some supplements that were at the time very helpful. And I did counseling, which at the time is very helpful.
Wow.
I got one of the best counselors in all of the land who resides right here in Princeton. Amazing counselor. Not everybody can afford that though. I mean, this is not covered under insurance. It wasn't covered under insurance, not in network.
So you had to pay for it.
I pretty much had to pay for it. But what I realized is I could go to someone who's not as good and in network and spend 20 visits where only I spent 4 and felt
Much better.
much better. So that was worth it to me. So I kind of think people need to kind of, if they are going through this situation, get out, get help, be with friends.
Right.
Just keep doing, even when you don't feel like doing.
I'm glad that you said that, because that's what depression is, of course. It's just that you want to isolate, you don't want to do anything, etc. So, but as you said, I like that the description of I clawed, I dug myself out of it, because that's what it takes at times to dig yourself out of it. And what I also like that you mentioned was that you talked about getting help from a clinician, professional help, but there's also self-help, which you talked about the jogging, going
Acupuncture.
doing. Yeah, so these are I really appreciate you sharing both sides of it. That it's work. It's a lot of work. Yeah, but it's you can get help from a professional, but also you have to do the work on your end also.
You have to comply.
Yeah.
To what the professionals are telling you, as well as trying your best to do anything you knew that helped before. You know, because in the past I've gotten out of a depression through just jogging. But I guess as you get older and your hormones get a little wacky, things change. So I noticed that, you know, this particular time around, I went and did one extra doctor who was like a naturalistic doctor who did all my tests for vitamins, and I was deficient in many things.
Oh, wow.
So that's important.
That's interesting. That's very important.
I mean, I'm 47 years old. You know what I mean? Don't tell anybody out there. But that things change. Your hormones change. Things can dip, and that can change things as well. If you have all of those factors, including the biological, there's nothing you can do about it other than just continue to go and learn and grow, write songs.
But you know why I think what's so interesting, so often what accompanies all of this is shame.
It does come. It's there. It's there for every one of us, even though we deny it as people who are, I'm very outward about my life. I'm not as shy, but there's still self-stigma. It's still there. That I don't want to tell the world about this, that, and the other thing, and exactly this and exactly that. I want to keep it to myself. It's nobody's business because I'm still functioning. You didn't know. I somehow pulled it off, right?
Exactly.
So that's the hard part. But I think when you open up, people do open up as well.
I think that's what the key piece about it is, that when you open up, when I said you, I don't mean you, but
like
when we open up about things that we sometimes feel shameful about, it's that it liberates other people also. Because you talking about this could be saving somebody's life today, guys who's watching this show, because they're learning some tips that, you know, I'm experiencing this, maybe I could try this, or maybe I could try that.
Exactly.
So
there's no one recipe.
Exactly. There's no one recipe.
You have to try it all and
Exactly.
see what works for you.
That's true.
So that's the part where it's hard. It manifests in so many different ways for people. You know, it's such an individualistic experience.
It is.
Yeah, the same common theme of dread and not wanting to do anything, not being motivated is there for most people.
Exactly.
But what helps is always going to change for each individual person.
That is so true. I call that a bag of tricks. I think that each time you're adding to your bag of tricks, because as you mentioned, in the past, jogging would have worked by itself.
Exactly.
But now things have changed a bit, so you have to have some other bags of tricks that you have to pull out.
The mental health industry isn't helpful either, because sometimes you can't get an appointment for a month and you're kind of like, wait a minute, hold on, I can't wait a month. So the industry's not that great. You got to get the right person to help you. You really do, because if you don't have that right person and you feel right away that this is not good for you, you're right. You're right, this person ain't good for you.
Exactly.
They may be good for so-and-so over here, but if they're not good for you, move on immediately until you find that person who helps your person. Get as much help as you can. Inside and out. Like, all my friends have been the best I could ever ask for. I have the most supportive friends. I mean, this just not too long ago, I was like sobbing in front of my whole band before band practice. But we played, we had a blast. It was great. They loved me through it, and it was done.
Wow.
It was fine.
But again,
I have an amazing support system.
That is critical.
So
that is so critical.
I can't complain.
Wow, you're blessed.
Not everybody understands, though. There are people within my unit who don't get it, right? But that's okay because they don't know.
Exactly.
You can't understand what you
You
don't know yourself.
Exactly.
So I just let that go and I go to my people.
Exactly. And you know what? Although people, the individuals in our lives mean us well, not everybody is, it's not a one size fit all kind of relationship with everyone.
Exactly.
Because maybe the support you can give me in one aspect of my life, somebody else can't give me that support. But what this support this person can give me in a different situation, you can't give me that support.
That's very true.
So it's about, it's kind of realizing
It's a
where
community.
people do. It's a community, and everyone brings something to the table, something different, but it's still valuable.
I think the most important thing to do is to not isolate.
Right.
Do not isolate. I mean, I would go as far as, I have this wonderful co-writer in England. I would go as far as when I was so down, Skyping him and chatting with my co-writer from England. And he was an amazing resource because he understands mental illness and mental health issues. And he was very loving, and I just can't thank people enough for just, because I don't want to be around people who are depressed.
Right. Right.
I don't. Me, who's been depressed. I have a higher tolerance for people who have anxiety and who have any kind of mental health issues. I have I'm very patient in my job. I get it, so I'm patient, but I understand, like, it's like a dark tunnel of hell.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be around it.
Yeah, that's true. And it
So
can suck you in very fast.
Being
too.
aware of that,
Yeah.
how it feels for me to be around that, made it harder for me to unleash the madness of my depression on others, But I had no choice. That was all I could focus on in that moment.
Wow.
It's really tough. That's another thing that's tough about depression, is you only focus on that all the time. It's like,
Exactly. You can't get beyond it.
you can't
It's
get
like,
that monkey off your back. It's just there with you all the time.
And it's the digging out. You have to kind of literally, and it's physical. It's a lot
right.
of time people think it's just here.
It's not.
It's not. It's physical. You
Exactly.
know. It impacts so many aspects of your
I
life.
know. And it's a very common thing. It happens to 1 in 6 people.
I know.
It's common. That means I can talk to 6 people and one of them has some kind of mental health issue.
Exactly.
But they don't want to talk about it.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
Until I say something. And then they're like, oh yeah, I have it too. And then I'm like, oh great, we have something in common. We can chat and we can let it out and move on.
Exactly.
And it doesn't define us. It's
Exactly.
just a small little piece
Of who you are.
of life.
Exactly.
That life on life's terms. You
And
can have
we all have-
diabetes, you can have lung cancer, you can have, anything medical.
Right.
But
Exactly.
the stigma's worse for mental illness, unfortunately.
Oh, that's the that's a big
So
challenge.
I think people need to be a little more patient, understanding. And for those who don't understand mental illness, maybe go and read a couple books on the illness so that you can better understand that it's not people making this up. And
Right.
they can't just turn it off and whatnot.
And there's a lot of training and education happening now. I don't know if you have heard about this, but it's called Mental Health First Aid.
Not yet.
It's
No, I haven't heard.
similar to mental health, to physical illness. If you're in a restaurant and someone is stroking, in a sense, you kind of know what to do, right?
Yeah.
If someone is exhibiting signs and symptoms of say depression, etc., a lot of time people don't want to get engaged because I think sometimes they don't know what to do or how to
Exactly.
deal with it. So
Wow,
this
who are they
mental health-
teaching these to?
Oh, it's lay persons.
Very
You have
interesting.
clergy. You have the police officer. You just
Well,
librarians.
they would definitely need to do it to the
people
people who are
completely
kind of in charge.
Exactly, because normally when someone is going through a crisis or developing symptoms, there's not a professional around. So you want
Right.
people who they have relationships with to be able to identify that something is happening. So you have to be a certified trainer. I'm a certified trainer.
That's
So like
wonderful.
this weekend I was in Warren County training a group of professionals.
That is wonderful.
Yeah, so it's training individuals so that they can. It's understanding, and I think that's where the stigma is fought when people understand something.
Right, it's knowledge.
Yes, yeah.
Knowledge.
Exactly.
More knowledge people need.
So tell me about second wind.
Well, second wind was basically the best way I could describe depression and needing that second wind to get out of it. And the lyrics just speak for themselves, so if anyone ever has a chance, you can go watch the video.
Oh, where can we get the video?
YouTube, Kimmy Arson, Second Wind, and thanking my co-writer Lionel Lodge from Austria, Vienna, Austria. I'm going to visit there someday. I have a place to stay, apparently. But yeah, Lionel is a great songwriter, and he helped me to take my idea and make it even better. So
That's awesome.
nothing that I do alone. Either God's helping me or a co-writer. So I'm very taken care of in all ways. Is all I can say. But this co-writer and I felt very strongly about the song, and we completed it, finished it, and I told him I was going to do a music video for it. And I found this guy, Rashawn Tyson, I believe his last name is, who helped me with the video production, and he did an amazing job.
That's awesome. I saw it online. So here, this is a great time to actually talk about. Now it's time to talk about your talk about you.
Rise is my latest, and this was based on a song I wrote at Berklee College of Music in a hit songwriting class that my instructor who taught there told me he really thought the song was very commercial. So I basically decided I would do an album surrounding it, and it got a little out of hand. It was going to be an EP, but then it became a full album, and you don't even know the half of it. It's so hard. But I finished that, and along the way I got a few placements for songs on my album, so that was kind of cool. I Am Loved is in a documentary film called American Chaos, so that was kind of cool. And Beautiful Night is in a show called Southern Comfort several times. So.
Wow.
Just exciting stuff, but Rise Like a Champagne Bubble would be your absolute opposite of Second Wind. So as we all play and have opposites, right? We all have our yin and our yang.
Yeah.
The Rise Like a Champagne Bubble would be being my best self and really going for it.
That's awesome.
Living my light and sharing it with others. That's always what I've wanted to do. It's always been my passion. Not only to do what I love because it helps me, but if I'm helped, then I can share, right?
Exactly.
And if I can share, then maybe others will be inspired, and then. Last but not least, Satisfied, which was my first effort ever, and this is what started the whole thing. So I'm just grateful to continue to do music.
Wow.
I really am. I'm thankful, satisfied, filled with joy, and I'm rising.
Oh, yes, definitely. So tell our viewers how they can actually get your music.
Well, they can go on kimyarson.com. They can actually purchase the CDs through my website. They can go on iTunes. It's on iTunes, all of them. And that's pretty much it. They can come to my shows.
Oh,
I
definitely.
play live all the time, and they're cheaper when you buy them live. But
So can they find out? On your website?
on my website, all my shows where I perform
Okay.
are there. I try not to perform as much. That's one of the things I'm allowing myself not to overstress myself.
Okay. Well, it has been a pleasure
Pleasure's
speaking with
mine.
you, and thank you so much for being so
Thank you.
candid. And
Thank you.
until next time, to my viewers, be positive. Thank you.
The world can be cruel, filled with hatred and pride.